Hello, friend. I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Welcome to 10 Bestest. I have something that's going to help you with your health.
And I am going to share a website/game to get you into poetry. Let's get to it.
My cool sheet I will be talking about. This one is a device, and it has to do with health. This is something that I learned about from my brother. I have two family members who have this, and this is a Wi-Fi blood pressure monitor. So, cardiovascular disease, it is still #1 cause of death, and stroke is a top cause of adult disability in the United States. And so, high blood pressure is the leading risk factor for both of these conditions, and therefore we need to pay closer attention to them, really no matter what our age is. Maybe not when you're very, very young, but once you get into your 30s, I would say it is worth something doing. High blood pressure, unless it's dangerously high, is asymptomatic. So that's the thing, is you might have some elevated high blood pressure, you won't even know it. And so the only way is to monitor it. And if you're going to a doctor for checkups only once per year, that means it's not getting monitored very often. Why don't we bother? Well, for me, it'd just be like, oh, it's one more thing. It's like flossing, and so it might not be that easy. But if you make it easy and part of a routine that you do maybe once per week or something like that, it could make a difference in discovering an underlying issue that you have. So one way to easily, if you want to think about that issue of ease, to easily integrate it into your life, you could get a smart blood pressure monitor. Two of my siblings have these, as I said, and the one that they really like is the Wayfinders BPM blood pressure monitor Connect, because it's super fast and it sends the data automatically to a couple apps that they have on their smartphone, and it could also automatically be sent to your doctor if you are someone who's getting your blood pressure monitored already. There are other smart blood pressure monitors out there, so don't think that that's the only one, but that is one that I have personal experience with and know something about and know how it's nice because if it's really compact size and it's so easy to use. And because stress is one of those things that can affect blood pressure, that's something to think about. So again, this is a blood pressure monitor.
Oh, this is so cool. So I do have one, and it's at work. I don't know why exactly. But yeah, I just don't use it. I was like, oh, yeah. I finally bought one. So and I don't think it's a Wi-Fi. That's smart. I really like that. But yeah, I used it, once a week for the first 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, when you first get it, and then
forget about it because I put it in a cabinet and now I don't see it. But yeah, but I'm such a data nerd. Like I have an Oura Ring, so I'm always looking at how I sleep, and it's a good way to like qualify. Like, oh, is meditation? Do I have lower blood pressure after I meditate? And I would love that kind of stuff. So to make it easier and send it into my phone and keep track of data like that would be very cool. I like that.
And even to have a baseline. If you start with a baseline now, then if there are issues in a couple of years, you know what you have data, even if the issues don't come about.
When did it start getting higher? What changed? Is it diet, sleep? A multitude of things that it could be, and that would give more information to your doctor, to help you out. Yeah, that's so cool. Well, thanks so much for kind of reminding me that maybe I should check mine. It's been a long time since I've checked mine, and I think right now probably everybody's blood pressure is a little higher than it used to be.
Maybe.
So yeah, something to check out for sure. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, I'm going to be talking about a website/game, and this is called Wayfinder. So this is the concept design and the code was written by Matt Deloriers. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Sorry about that, Matt. But this is an animated journey across the land with poetry, and it is so beautiful. So it's an expression of our connectedness to the natural world and is an opportunity to renew a damaged ecosystem through discovery and verse. So this is a calming and contemplative gameplay where you you kind of play this faceless figure, this dark figure with a red cloak, floating around through the forest with a cape and hat, and you interact with the environment. There's trees and animals, and you kind of wisp around, and you collect tokens to restore nature. And each time you collect a token, it reveals part of a poem. And so 3 or 4 of these you collect, and then it creates a poem. So one of the examples is, between giant cedar trees, the darkness lengthens through the blossoming cherries. So that was one of the poems that I created by playing this game. Once you collect that poem, then you return to the center of the screen and you give it to this big tree that is dying, and it starts to restore it. Now the code is written so every time you play this game, the poem is different, which is outstanding to me. And I have played it a few times and I've never found a duplicate so far. So again, the music is just so beautiful, and it just kind of calms you down too. I got to imagine that would lower your blood pressure, but it is just such a fun way. And if you're not into poetry, this might be a good way to kind of gamify and get you into poetry a little bit more. So I love that aspect of it too. It would be good for all ages. Definitely check out Wayfinder. Yeah.
That's
I was like, wayfinding? I always get those mixed up because there's also a different thing called Wayfinding Academy.
Oh, right. So, yes. That's why it sounds familiar. I was like, has this been a cool sheet before? This sounds so familiar. But it sounds beautiful. It gets me all dreamy just sitting here and listening to you talk about it.
Yeah.
It sounds wonderful.
You cannot help but once you kind of go into this world, because it's all absorbing, and you just, you feel a little lighter and kind of at peace.
Yeah.
Plus you're reading poetry and you're restoring nature, even though it's, in a game form, but it does help you kind of think about some of the more beautiful things in life.
Yeah.
What can I do to restore nature?
So is this something that kids could do? Like, I don't know what the age range is.
Yeah, I think it would be good for all ages. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just imagining so many
maybe
games.
Not little kids, because some of the words would maybe get lost, but as soon as they can start to have a vocabulary and learn about poetry, I think it'd be a really good thing for them.
I'm just imagining, because so many games get them all amped up and they're all like,
for sure.
And this is like actual, this could be like a nighttime game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, nice, I like it.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm
going to pass that along to my nephew.
Oh, cool. So. Yeah, and we got to give that one to our friend Deb Vaughn, who's our guest, and she loves poetry, and I think she would love this game. So Deb, definitely check out this game.
Yeah, excellent.
Oh, and we didn't talk about the show notes, I don't think. So where are the show notes for this episode again?
10bestest.com/strip. Thank you for joining us for 10 Bestest. I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
I have a question for you. When was the last time you checked your blood pressure?
And I want to know what's your relationship with poetry, and if you have a favorite poem, put it in the comments.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and tell a friend.
And stay tuned tomorrow for another show.
And don't forget to stay curious.